NFC. Matt Ryan and the Falcons will host Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. So with these quarterbacks matching up, let's go next level for this 120. B-Mac, is this QB quartet the best ever for a championship Sunday? You're talking about Brady, who's won 4 Super Bowls, Roethlisberger, who's won 2, Aaron Rodgers, who's won 1, and Matt Ryan might win an MVP this year. So when you look at these 4 signal callers, is this the best quartet we could dream of on championship Sunday?
Well, I'm not going to say that.
Okay.
I'll say when you look at the 3 guys that all have won a Super Bowl, yes. But no one anticipated, or outside, if you're an Atlanta Falcon fan, no one actually wanted to see a guy like Matt Ryan be in this situation that he currently is, because he doesn't have the name or the resume like the other 3 guys. But what he's done so far this season as an individual, also as a total offensive unit, yes, I think so. All 4 guys have dominated this season. I mean, you got arguably 2 MVP candidates right here.
Oh, yeah.
And also you can throw Tom Brady if it wasn't for the suspension, right? Mm-hmm. So you got 3 legit MVP quarterbacks that will play this weekend.
I imagine, though, if Russell Wilson and the Seahawks had won that game against Atlanta, you might say it could be the best. Let's take a look at some of the other memorable quartets from Championship Sunday in the NFL. You go back to 1994, Steve Young and Troy Aikman in the NFC, Jim Kelly and Joe Montana in the AFC. Not too bad there with the 3 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. The year prior to that, in 1993, Jim Kelly and Dan Marino, Troy Aikman and Steve Young. And if you go back to 1973, this one's sneaky good. Fran Tarkenton and Roger Staubach going at it in the NFC. Bob Greasy and Ken Stabler in the AFC. So now you've seen 3 of our top candidates alongside 2016/17. Which quartet is the best?
The very first one they showed for me, you had Joe Montana, Kelly,
Jim Kelly,
Troy,
Steve Young.
And Steve Young. That's now, granted, you got Joe Montana when he was with Kansas City,
right?
But yet and still, based on the resume that he had established already, I mean, that's a legit quartet based on the success and the prestige they had. Now, like I said, the only knock on these 4 quarterbacks probably would be Matt Ryan, just from the standpoint he hasn't built up enough equity like the other guys have. But I have no issue with the 4 that we're currently seeing, because I do believe we will see some good football. All 4 offenses can dominate a ball game. So with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised to see what we saw with Green Bay and Dallas, quarterbacks going back and forth, and especially a good product from both games.
We're certainly expecting that NFC matchup to be a high-scoring affair. Remember, it is a rematch of a game we saw in Week 8 of this regular season, won 33-32 by the Falcons. Matt Ryan scored a touchdown with about 30 seconds to go to give his team that 1-point lead. They did convert the 2-point conversion. And even though Aaron Rodgers had 30 seconds left to try and set up a game-winning field goal attempt or score a touchdown, he could not lead his team down the field. But 65 total points in that game, 33-32, the Falcons won. I wouldn't be shocked at all if this is another 35-38 type of game, if a team gets into the 40s, because Atlanta and Green Bay, while they have defenses that are not bad by any stretch of the imagination, you play on that fast track down there in ATL with quarterbacks throwing the ball like Rodgers and Ryan are. I think points are going to be plentiful.